Hello and welcome back to an all-new episode of Sam Explains the World. I'm your host, Samantha Bremekamp, and on this episode, we're going to learn together how to best preserve your beautiful flowers in resin. We're going to start off with a couple different drying methods to see what works best. I've cut a selection of dahlias at different stages of their life cycle, as well as some zinnias, and we're going to figure out together what's the best way to try to capture their colors as best as we can. The reason I got on this resin kick is because of the internet machine, and I saw that an artist somewhere takes people's wedding bouquets and preserves them in resin and makes like a coffee table out of them, or whatever you end up wanting to do with it. I can't think of a cooler thing than being able to immortalize beautiful flowers and then use it as decorations across your house or as like a table. So we're going to try it. We're going to see how it works best. And so what you're going to need, first and foremost, flowers, and to figure out what's the best way to dry or preserve them. I know some people try hairspray, some people do clear glue, maybe like shellacking a flower. But what I've read with my research is that the best way is to dry them. So we're going to use a couple different methods. One of the easiest things is that we're going to hang a few of these upside down in a cool, dark place, dry place, preferably. I mean, it has to be, otherwise you're going to risk it getting moldy and just rotting. And then the other way that experts like to use is by utilizing gel crystals. This is flower drying silica gel crystals, to try to keep the shape of the flower, the volume of the flower. When working with this, when working with resin, when working with most things that are crafty, always have to wear gloves and realize that it's not going to be a one and done in one sitting situation, because it will take several days of it drying, either in the crystals or just straight up drying, before you can even get to the next step, which will show you, of using the actual resin, which comes in two different liquid parts. You put them together, and that's what eventually hardens clear with whatever it is that you're putting in it. And that takes at least 5 to 7 days of sitting and no one bothering it. So just understand, this is an awesome project and it could be super cool, but it's going to take time. And I'd like to thank my best mom for getting super pumped about this, also teaching me how to absolutely just love gardening, which is all I want to do all of the time. And then sending like crystals and stuff for me to try it out to see what works best. So what you're going to need for drying is a cool, dark, dry place, like a basement or a closet, maybe a guest bedroom closet that you're not using, or a coat closet that you could kind of like hide this in the top corner of, and something to hang it with, like string or twine or wire. People say to do, like, if you're trying to do a bouquet, practice, by the way, on bouquets that you do not care about before you're going straight to trying to preserve your own beautiful wedding bouquet or somebody else's beautiful wedding bouquet, because you really need to know what you're doing, because once it's ruined forever. If you're going to try the crystals, you obviously need to purchase those. You'll use a container that has a decent lid to try to lock out moisture. And you definitely, once again, need to wear gloves. So let's start with the crystals. And when we get to the part where I'm going to hang up some flowers, I'm going to hang them up individually, because dahlias have so much shape and depth. If I squash them together, it would already lose some of that. So these will get hung up, and I'm probably going to use string and these tiny little clothesline clips that are usually used for hanging out postcards or pictures, like behind your desk or something. And the coolest part about the crystals we're about to pour in is that these are reusable. So if you're going to try this process, if you're going to get into this, highly recommend using products that are reusable, like the drying crystals, just because it would save money and you don't, unless you have a trust fund, which good for you, can you not me? For the rest of us, we need to be kind of thriftier with our money. So first things first, I'm not filling this whole thing in with this yet. I'm going to do a base layer about 1 inch to 2 inches, depending on how thick your flowers are. And first, I'm going to cut this bag open. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to cut a little corner. I don't want to open up too much, and I'm going to keep it in this resealable bag. You realize that whatever container you're going to use, label it now for crafts or whatever, or just thoroughly wash it out. I just don't want anybody getting any kind of harm done to them because yikes, right? So about that much, about 1 inch. Now I'm going to choose the first subject for this one. I'm going to try this one because it's already seen some things and it's kind of flatter. So just for the purposes of us learning it, I cut off the bottom. I'm going to put this down into the crystals like this. And the whole reason that you put a base layer is because you're going to slowly start adding the crystals around it to fill in under and between the petals so it preserves its shape and form. So now that we have it in like this, I'm going to change perspectives for you with a different camera so that you can see up close and personal. So bear with me as we change cameras. I put the gloves back on and get serious with these crystals and find something for my girl Marmalade to do. Okay, welcome to the up close and personal experience of us trying to use flower drying silica gel crystals. You'll note I added a couple more flowers just because I wanted to see for the different varieties what works best. You're going to now carefully add in more of the crystals because you're trying to fill up around it. You want to make sure that you're not really crushing anything. You want it to keep its form, and you're going to want to bury it. I mean, that seemed pretty easy. So you're going to now seal off the container with an airtight seal, and you're going to be placing it somewhere that can stay safe and unbothered in a dry, safe place for about 3 to 5 days. So that first step didn't seem that hard with using crystals. We're going to put this, once again, somewhere that's going to stay safe, dry, not outside anywhere. Don't use your shed, maybe use a closet, a guest room, I don't know, not a bathroom, because that has condensation and moisture from showers and such. And then the other way, I'm now going to just take these, attach them to string, and I'm going to hang them down in the basement because those will be left alone. And in about 5 to 7 days, we'll meet back here, see what went better, and figure out how to use resin together. I figured it might be helpful if I walk you through the process of hanging flowers upside down, because not everybody has that experience, and maybe it'll make you feel more confident because I'm doing it. So first you take any kind of clothespins you have. I have these teeny tiny ones. Again, they're to hold like postcards or photographs, but I'm going to use them to hold the stems. And I have a piece of twine, and then more twine should I need it. And I'm going to arrange it so the heaviest, longest one will be in the middle. And then I'll get shorter and shorter to the outside. Lay my string, and then I'm going to firmly clip the flower to the string a nice distance away from each other. You don't want overcrowding. If you give space, it'll give it ample chance to dry out more evenly. Don't be a rascal. I'll just do this many just to show you. Switch you for you. Now I'll hold it up for you. There we go. Okay. Super easy. The hard part would be to find a place to store these. They also just look pretty, so you could use this as decoration and put it across your fireplace mantle, or the mantle you have that has no fireplace, or across the wall that you stare at where your desk is, or whatever. But this is it. It's gonna go hang, it's gonna go dry, and I'm gonna leave it alone. And it couldn't be easier. And I believe in you because you can do it. You know how I know that? Because I'm realizing that I can do it. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it. Let's see how it goes. I think we've waited long enough for the big reveal to see how the flowers did in the crystals versus hanging in the basement upside down. This is all of the ones that either dried hanging upside down in the basement or dried in a vase because they died. We have some new ones. We're going to try also drying them out by pressing flowers in between books. And now the big reveal that we've all been waiting for. Remember wearing gloves when using the silica gel crystals. And very carefully, you're going to go down and around the flower. Shake off all those crystals. Yes, petals are going to fall off regardless of what method you use. I mean, it's not bad. Of course, like the outrageous color, which is what I was hoping to save, you know, did not preserve exactly, but not bad. And there are, of course, some other friends in here. This one, I believe, is the purpley one. Oh, no, this is another pink one. Or purple, I can't tell anymore. Doesn't matter. It's pretty. Very pretty. Oh, how sad. Okay, this would have done well, but it got too brittle. This was a zinnia, that really pretty purple zinnia. Could still be used in things in resin, but not exactly what we were hoping for. Out of here. Could still be used in jewelry making with resin. I'll show you the UV resin, which is very cool. Yeah. Now there's more. Oh, there's more. I found something. Oh boy. Well, this guy got destroyed. Trials and tribulations, my friends. It's important to let other people try first. I'd have to put that through a sift. Ooh, 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 ooh. Is this the other half of it, probably? Yeah. Is there anybody else? No. And now I'm going to sift it. I'm going to use like a slotted mesh spoon to just get these out. Because again, sad that the whole flower didn't survive, but these are really pretty and can go into smaller things like jewelry if you're working with resin. But there we have it. On to the next thing. I do want to show you, as I was clearing out the silica gel crystals, I found a perfect yellow dahlia. So it does work for certain types of flowers like this, which is going to look awesome in resin, which we'll get to hopefully. And now I'm going to put the other things that were too big to get pressed in there, and I'll add new crystal. But really pretty. All right, now it's time to check our friends that have been in here a week. Let's see. Remember, very carefully unearthing things. Teeny little marigold. I'm putting two together. Oh, that's a bigger one. Hold up. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes. Oh yes. Making sure to get all of the crystals off of it, but look how perfect that worked. It looks like it's still alive, but it's not. It's dried out. So marigold, something to consider when doing this. I did a bunch of them because I love the color. I just love how they're just doing so well right now. Pretty. Yeah, perfection. We'll see how well that does in the resin. Nope, so we're just petals from before. A bunch of these because I ran out and got more for my garden. That's going to be really cool. Remember, you do it very carefully because you're going to lose petals, which is okay. You can still use the petals in different things, like maybe jewelry with the resin. But, okay. This is the calendula. I think it came out pretty awesome. It'll be fun to see how it does. Now it's going to be a minute for us to see how anything that we put in the pages did, because that needs to be pressed between for pressed flowers for at least 2 weeks. But this is a zinnia, not bad. It's a little more difficult when you have petals that are this shaped. So something again to consider. Carefully placing it down. And another one. Get a little brush to get those crystals out. Another marigold. Treasure hunt. Yeah, look at that bright color that stayed. Excellent. Really glad I ran back and got a bunch of these because we had such cold weather. Everything else finally died. Well, except for snapdragons and things that actually like the cold, which who knew? And if you knew, awesome. That was a big one. But look, it just came out so well. It looks like it's still alive, but it's not. Awesome. And remember, make sure you're wearing gloves these crystals purposely dry out. And you don't want them getting in your eye or your mouth or on the floor or in your food or touching you. Really pretty. Halo guy. Careful. Let's just move this over so you see what we've collected so far. Somebody right. There. Awesome. Careful. If you're doing this outside and you had an area in which you could like catch stuff, you could try to very gently blow on them to get some of the crystals loose. But I would not do that inside. Maybe make a giant bangle bracelet with those. That would be so cool. Oh, look at this gorgeous color. Wow. Stunning. Big petals. Okay. Go a little deeper. Oh, yes. Super cute little zinnias. Kept the color at least. Much better than cleaning up cat litter, what did I say? That could be it. I thought there was one more something. All right, hello. Always welcome. Or did I press? I think I pressed the rest of it. Okay. So there's a way to regenerate these crystals, reactivate them. And it has something to do with like the microwave or oven or something. I gotta look and read it. But they're reusable, which is what makes them so awesome. Okay. All right. Time. Not bad. I think it just depends on what kind of flowers you're ready to use and how delicate and gentle you are with them. Now we're going to try our luck at pressing flowers and other things that I have found in nature by taking a bunch of things, some wax paper, and books. And that's all you need. You probably already have all of that. I'm going to carefully place things and place them face down. Carefully making sure that they're not overlapping, that they're pressing in a way that makes sense for the type of flower that they are. Taking off the stems and stuff. That's going to get sandwiched. Gorgeous calendula, clematis, knockout roses, nasturtium, maple leaf, ornamental maple leaf. And these are cornflowers, one of my favorite blues. I'll take off the dead parts. And then we're going to press them just like that. I also grabbed some of the nasturtium leaves, pinching off carefully the stem and placing it face down. Just thought, why not? Let's try it. Could be really cool looking in jewelry or bookmarks. The other calendula, just gorgeous, gorgeous. Note that I'm only doing it on one side because it's going to sandwich over and cover it. Reminds me, I'm going to grab some more poppies. Marigolds are gorgeous. We'll see how well this works. This might have to go in the silicone gel actually, because of if I took it apart, all the petals would fall off. So some of these are going to be tougher to push down. So, okay, well, let's just start with this and see how this does. Making sure to crease it over. Making sure leaves are out as much as possible. There you go. Oh, other way. Some of the things need your help because the petals are going to get a little funky. There we go. Okay. Now you're going to close the book. Make sure it's a book, press down, that you aren't going to need in the next 2 weeks. And then layer heavier books on it and leave it for 2 weeks. And that's it. All right. Once again, book, wax paper, and then things, to press. Like the nasturtium leaves, which I just think are just so pretty. We're going to try some of the nasturtium flowers. The vibrant yellows, I realize that they have things sticking up, so it might not necessarily work. But, excuse me, we will try anyway, just to see. And then these gorgeous, gorgeous knockout roses, which I am more concerned about because they are so gorgeous. Very carefully press them face down. Last of the season, probably. Unless we keep getting crazy, warm, random weather. Oh, make sure the bugs are out. Sorry, little bugs. Don't freak out. Bugs come with flowers, of course. Slide it over a little bit. And get ready to close it. Remember, you're always learning. That's the beauty of trying new things. Maybe you'll see that you're really good at it, or maybe you'll see that you hate it. Either way, try. Go outside your comfort zone. Okay. Oh my God. I'm going to switch sides because this book is being a little bit ridiculous. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to close it. Make sure the flowers are in there nice and squished. And you're going to layer it under heavy books. That's it. Perfect. Time for the big reveal. I'm just going to show you the ones that came out nicely, obviously, from the pressed flowers between books. Certain things absolutely kept their color. Super amazed. Absolutely gorgeous. Like the nasturtium leaves. Perfect. Or these beautiful yellow, or orange, I should say, cosmos. Absolutely retain their color.
Even these beautiful purple Cosmos kept their color. Cosmos, huge hit. The other things did not come out as well, so I'm not going to waste your time by showing you that, but this was just the first part. Next time, join us, and we're going to do the actual resin part together, not the resin jewelry like we did last week, but the big casting in a mold with flowers, and you'll go on that journey with me. So tune in next week, 9 p.m., right here on BCTV. I'm your host, Samantha Bremekamp, and thank you once again for joining me on Sam Explains the World.